The Range Rover L322 is, as recently confirmed by Jeremy Clarkson and Harry Metcalf, the best Range Rover ever built. But, with the right modifications, it's possible to make it even better. So in this video, I'm going to show you guys my top 5 modifications that I've done to my high-mile 4.4 TDV8 that take it from brilliant to sublime. So at number 5, it's my Beefy rubber. Yes, these are probably the best modification you can make if you intend on taking your L322 Range Rover off the tarmac. The L322 is an incredibly capable off-road vehicle as standard, surpassing pretty much everything in its class, but to really make the most of its abilities you need to ditch the standard all-season Pirelli Scorpions for something a bit more aggressive, like these Cooper Discoverer 83 Sport 2s that I have here. Now, in addition to being a bit more aggressive, these Coopers at 275/55R20 are also a fair bit bigger than the standard size of 255/50R20. They're around an inch wider and around 2 inches taller. This gives the Rangey an extra inch of ground clearance, which may not sound like much, especially for those 1% of female viewers in my audience, but trust me, in this situation, an inch is huge. As well as that, it makes climbing over obstacles easier and gives more sidewall to protect the rim and give a bigger contact patch on the ground. And of course, the most important reason to fit big chunky tyres is that they look awesome. My L322, as you can see, has a bit of an outdoorsy aesthetic going on, which may not be to all tastes, but as a die-hard Land Rover fan who grew up on Defenders and old Discos, this aesthetic is exactly what I want. It's important to note with a larger tyre you will impact performance a bit, not that I notice it much with the remapped 4.4 TDV8 under the bonnet, more on that later, and it'll probably impact your fuel economy a bit. Noise-wise, they're slightly louder than a pure road tyre at cruising speeds, but thanks to the fabulously well insulated cabin of the L322, it's not intrusive at all. So in at number 4 is my Frontrunner roof rack. One thing that I've added to the Range Rover fairly recently is this awesome Frontrunner slimline roof rack, as part of an effort to start using the L322 as a bit of an overlander. Now, it's been a few months since I fitted this, and I had actually hoped by now that I'd have mounted a roof tent on top, but currently we're saving up pretty hard to purchase a house and a garage, and roof tents, or at least good ones, don't come cheap. However, I'm hoping that in the near future we'll be able to continue this overland build series that I started a few months back and crack on with some big trips in the old girl. The Frontrunner rack is a lightweight yet strong aluminium design and is supremely customizable thanks to the modular sections and T-slot fixtures on every slat. It bolts directly to the L322's factory mounting points and is a secure and sturdy way to mount your overlanding kit. And aside from all that, I think it looks rather good too. At number 3, it's the infotainment system. By the time that this Range Rover was built in late 2011, we were already onto our 4th generation of Apple iPhone, and the age of digital music and video was well underway. YouTube had been around for 5 years, and we'd been able to stream our music from Spotify for over 3 years. But despite all that, this £67,000 luxury vehicle inexplicably didn't come with Bluetooth music streaming. And if that wasn't bad enough, the built-in satellite navigation system drew stern criticism from the reviewers and customers even back in 2010. So these days it's worse than useless. And even if you manage to get it updated to the current maps, it doesn't navigate with anything like the efficiency or traffic avoiding wizardry of our modern smartphone-based Google Maps or Waze apps. So that is where this mod from Unique Auto Developments in the UK comes in. Full Android Auto and Apple CarPlay integrated right into the original Range Rover head unit. Unlike most CarPlay installations that involve ripping out the original display and replacing it with an Android-based Chinese-made touchscreen, this one utilises the original Land Rover screen and maintains all the original functions of the Land Rover infotainment system, including the 4x4 info screen and yes, the original terrible satellite navigation. So this gives you full access to your phone's greatly improved GPS via Google Maps, Apple Maps or Waze, as well as limitless music or podcast streaming options, and a host of other functions like phone and message integration, as well as integration of your favourite AI voice assistant. As you can see though, it's not the simplest of installations, and you want to be fairly confident on the tools if you're installing this yourself. However, there are numerous places around the country that will install one of these kits for you, but that will be at extra cost of course. So that's 3 mods down and 2 to go. But before we get on to the next mod, I just want to quickly tell you guys about this week's video sponsor, AUTODOC. AUTODOC have previously sponsored a couple of episodes for me, generously providing the brake and service parts for the L322 that I used in the videos linked above. But I just wanted to show you guys their app, which is awesome for finding a massive range of very well priced parts and accessories for your vehicle. All you have to do is pop your registration number in here, and then when you search for a part, it'll only show you parts that are guaranteed to fit that specific model, and it will give you a great selection of manufacturers to choose from. There always seem to be discount codes available on top of the already very reasonable prices, and delivery is usually free over a certain threshold. I've been using AUTODOC for a few years now, from before they even decided to sponsor my channel, and I've always been impressed by their prices and by their service. There's a link down below in the description to their website, which if you do use will help out the channel very slightly but won't cost you any extra. Anyway, with that, let's get back to my top 2 modifications. At number 2, it's an addition to the Range's famous electronic air suspension that allows it to do this. The X-Lifter X2 very cleverly uses the Range's 4-corner air suspension system to level the body, compensating for a slope of up to 5 degrees in the lateral and the longitudinal, meaning that if you have a roof tent or even just a bed in the boot, you'll always have a level night's sleep. The X2 has other cool features as well, like infinitely adjustable ride heights, including a 15mm low highway mode and a 2-inch lift skyjack mode, and it also has functions to allow easier trailer hitching and even an emergency mode that could keep you moving if you have an electrical fault with the suspension system or the ABS system. Pretty cool. So in at number 1, it's a very recent modification. So recent in fact that I haven't even shared it with my most dedicated subscribers here on the channel. So with the big sequentially turbocharged 4.4 litre V8 diesel under the bonnet, one thing the L322 is not lacking is power. So I did the only logical thing and added more. Now it's nothing too crazy. We've gone from around 308 brake horsepower to 340 and around 700 newton meters to around 760. It's what they call an economy map. But with a couple of other modifications that were done at the same time that I can't strictly mention on YouTube, it has truly transformed the way the L322 drives. And as a result, it's now what you'd call indecently quick for a 3-ton barge. Ugh, that's dangerous. Like I've already said though, the 4.4 TDV8 really didn't need this extra power. It was already more than adequate and quite capable of showing up a few boy racers at the traffic lights every now and again. But what the remap and the other modifications have done is to improve the response, slow down the turbo spools faster and harder, and the power really just builds in a crescendo all the way up to 4,000 RPM now. And those other modifications that I'm talking about that I can't mention on YouTube have actually improved the fuel economy of the car as well, so benefits all round. And when you do plant your right foot, that diesel V8 under the bonnet starts to emit a muted roar and the world outside seems to flick past pretty quickly. It's rather good fun, I must admit. So I'm going to be doing a full video on this remap soon with all the do's and don'ts of remapping your diesel Range Rover. So just stay tuned and you'll see that on the channel very soon. But yeah, this has been my top 5 modifications for the L322. I've done a lot more, so check out the channel and you can see all the other mods I've been doing over the last 2 years of ownership. But I'd love to hear what you guys think in the comments. What are your favourite mods that you've done to yours, or what do you think about the mods I've done to mine? Leave a comment down below. But anyway guys, thanks for watching. Hit the like button down below if you enjoyed the video. It does help out the channel, and don't forget to subscribe if you haven't already. And I'll see you guys in the next video. Cheers.